What's up, guys? Today we're going over exactly how you can solve the Rubik's clock using the easiest no flip method. Let's get right into it. Alright, so the Scramble is on screen, and so once you've done that, we will get straight into the tutorial. Alright, so the first step of this method is to match or see if any of these edge pieces are matched to the center, and it can be on either side. So here we see we have these two matched, but none of the others are. It's just this center and this edge. And so what we're gonna wanna do is hold that on the bottom. All right, so once you've determined that, we're gonna look at the other edges. So the way in which you're gonna memorize the first side goes like this. We're gonna memorize the bottom, then the right, then the top, and then the left edges. So for this example, we're gonna look at, we already know that this edge is solved in relationship to the center. And so with the second edge, we'll see it needs 2 dots down, or 2 hours down, counterclockwise, in order to get to here. And so we're gonna memorize -2. Next, we're gonna move on to this dial. We can see that it needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours backwards in order to match up with the center. So we're gonna memorize -5. Now we're gonna look at this final dial. We can see this needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clockwise. So we're gonna memorize +6. So right now our numbers are -2, -5, and 6. All right, so once you've done that, you have successfully memorized all of the edges on the side that you will be solving no flip. So we can flip to the other side, and now I'll be showing you the order of execution. So what we're gonna start out by doing is the top 2 pins, and we're gonna be moving the bottom layer. So, and then next, we'll be moving up the right 2 pins, and we'll be moving the left layer, then the bottom 2 pins, and we'll be moving the top layer, and then the left 2 pins, and we'll be moving the right layer, just like this. So with that in mind, we can start to solve the cube. So we remember that on this side, the first edge center pair is already solved, so we don't have to do any moves for this. But what we can do is pair up these 2 edges on the front, just like this. Oops. Now we're gonna move to the left side. So remember it was -2, so we're gonna go -1, -2. That's 2 moves counterclockwise. And we're gonna pair up this to this, just like that. Now we're gonna do the bottom side. So we're gonna pair up these 2, just like that. And then you can remember that it's -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we pair up these 2. That goes to the top, and that's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And we've solved the front, and we've solved all of the back edges. But you probably noticed one critical problem, which is we have not done the AUF. And as you can see, if we're to finish solving the cube without taking account of the AUF on the back, it will not be solved. So let's go right into that. All right, so here I have re-scrambled the cube using the same scramble as before, and we're gonna go over the AUF. All right, so in order to calculate the AUF, we have to see what each piece does to get to the center, and then we're going to add up all those numbers and turn that into the AUF. So we remember from the last example that it was -2, -5, and 6. Those were our numbers we had to memorize. And so what we're gonna do is apply that to the center and see where the center is. But the thing to remember with AUF is it's always backwards. So instead of applying -2, -5, 6 to the cube, we're gonna be applying 2, 5, 6 to the cube. And in case you're wondering about 6, you can see that if we go 6 clockwise or counterclockwise, we still get to the same place. So if it were -6, it would still be at the same spot, so we'll just keep that as 6. So in order to apply that to the center, we're gonna go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we see we end up right there. Now, with that spot, we can see how much we'll have to do to get to the center solved. And the thing to remember though, is that everything is backwards. So instead of going 1 to get to the center, we have to go -1. So the memorization will be -2, -5, 6, and -1. Now if we go over to the other side and apply that, we can see we go -1, and there's the AUF done. And so we just solved that side like normal. And if we go on the back, we can see that we have solved the clock. All right, so now we're gonna go over some more example solves. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer them. All right, what's up? I'm back. So here we have another clock scramble. And so for this one, we see that this center and this edge are already paired up. So we can skip those two and move on to the next three. So next we move on to this one. We can see that this dial needs to do a +1 to get here. Then we can see this dial needs to do a -5 to get to here. And then this dial needs to do a -1. So the memo is 1, -5, -1. And if we plug that into the clock, we can see that that will be a 1, -5, -1, and we actually get to skip AUF for this particular scramble because the dial will end up solved. So if we go over to the other side, we do 1, -5, and then -1, and then we could solve the rest of the cube because AUF is already done. And if we look at the other side, we are all good. All right, what's up? We're back with the final example solve. So for this one, we can see that these two pieces are already paired up. So what we're gonna do is we will go to these next three. So here, this piece has to do a -1, 2, 3, -3. This piece has to do a 5. And then this piece has to also do a -3. So the memo will be -3, 5, -3. And if we plug that in to see the AUF, we'll see it is -3, 5, and then -3. So we'll have -3, 5, -3, and then remember it's reversed, so -3. So if we go here, we'll do -3, 5, -3, and then -3. Now we can solve the corners. And then we're done. All right, so with that, you now know how to solve the Rubik's clock using a no-flip method. If you like the video, please subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.